There's something the enemy understands very well. He doesn't need to destroy you overnight. He doesn't need to ruin your life in one moment. He doesn't even need to pull you far away from God. All he needs is to lie quietly and let you believe it long enough. Because the most dangerous lies aren't loud. They're subtle. They sound reasonable. They sound like your own thoughts. And over time, those lies don't just influence what you think. They begin to shape who you become. The enemy rarely starts with temptation. He starts with distortion. He whispers small things. You're falling behind. You should be further by now. God is disappointed in you. If God really cared, this wouldn't still hurt. And at first, you brush them off. You don't notice the damage. But lies don't need to be believed fully to be effective. They only need to be entertained. That's how they work their way in. Because the enemy knows something about faith. Faith grows where truth lives. So if he can distort the truth, he can weaken the ground your faith stands on. One of the first lies he tells you is this: you're alone in this. He convinces you that no one else struggles the way you do, that no one else fights the thoughts you fight, that everyone else seems to hear God clearly, except you. And suddenly, isolation feels normal. You still show up, still smile, still function. But inside, you feel disconnected. Not just from people, from God. And that's intentional. Because isolation makes lies louder. When you're alone long enough, you stop checking thoughts against truth. You stop bringing things into the light. You start assuming the voice in your head is right. Then comes another lie. Your struggle defines you. Not that you're struggling, but that you are your struggle. You don't just battle temptation. You start calling yourself weak. You don't just feel tired. You start calling yourself lazy. You don't just fall short. You start believing you'll always fall short. And slowly, the enemy replaces conviction with condemnation. Conviction says, this isn't who you are. Condemnation says, this is all you'll ever be. And when you believe that lie, something dangerous happens. You stop fighting. Not because you don't care, but because you don't believe change is possible. Another lie sounds like this: God is tired of you. Tired of your prayers. Tired of your repentance. Tired of hearing the same struggle again. So you start holding back. You pray less honestly. You confess less openly. You start managing sin instead of bringing it to God. Not because you don't want freedom, but because shame has convinced you that grace has limits. And that lie cuts deep. Because once you believe God's patience is running out, you stop running to Him and stop hiding from Him. Just like the beginning. But the enemy doesn't stop there. He also lies about timing. He whispers, if God was going to move, He would have done it by now. If healing was coming, you'd feel it already. If you were really called, doors would be opening. So you begin to measure God by speed. And when things don't happen fast enough, you assume something is wrong with you, with your faith, with God. But delay is not denial, and silence is not absence. Still, the lie lingers. Then there's one of the most damaging lies of all. Feelings equal truth. If you don't feel close to God, you assume He's far. If you don't feel strong, you assume you're weak. If worship doesn't move you, you assume your faith is dying. So faith becomes emotional instead of anchored. And when emotions dip, so does your confidence. But feelings are terrible leaders. They change daily. They respond to exhaustion, disappointment, distraction. Truth doesn't. And when faith is built on feeling, it collapses the moment life gets heavy. The enemy knows this. That's why he attacks your mind before your behavior. Because if he can convince you that truth isn't reliable, you'll stop standing on it. Eventually, all these lies lead to one final conclusion. Quitting would be easier. Not walking away from God completely, just backing off. Less prayer, less effort, less vulnerability. You don't rebel, you retreat. And from the outside, nothing looks wrong. But inside, the fire fades. Here's the truth the enemy doesn't want you to realize. Lies only have power when they go unchallenged. They don't survive confrontation. They can't stand in the light. The moment you start calling lies what they are, their grip weakens. Because truth doesn't argue, it exposes. You are not alone. Your struggle does not define you. God is not tired of you. Delay does not mean abandonment. Your feelings do not determine your faith. And here's the most important truth. If the enemy is lying to you, it's because the truth threatens him. He doesn't lie to people who don't matter. He lies to people who are dangerous when free. So if you felt confused, discouraged, stuck in your head, that doesn't mean you're failing. It means there's something in you worth resisting. The lies were never meant to destroy you instantly. They were meant to slowly reshape how you see yourself, God, and your future. But the moment you choose truth, even quietly, the process reverses. Faith begins to rebuild. Clarity returns. Strength follows. Not overnight, not dramatically, but steadily. So don't accept every thought as truth. Don't assume every feeling is fact. Don't let silence convince you that God isn't working, because lies lose power the moment you stop agreeing with them. And the truth will set you free, even if it takes time.